Right, so the remainder of this week is going to be quite different. Ordinarily I upload Monday to Friday, but tomorrow I might not. I will also not be streaming tonight over on the Cthulhu-Kin and Friends show, because I want to focus my efforts in finishing the total rip-off of Content Cop on Foodie Beauty, which I will be premiering on Friday. It will be done Friday, but if there are anything or is anything that slows me down, I will have to stop. Everything else, no distractions. So I won't be on Twitter, I will not be on Discord, I will not be on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat, none of it. It's all being turned off, because I've spent 6 months working on this, and I'm getting to a point where it is almost done, and I do not want or need any distractions going forward until it is done. I can already, just saying this, feel the anxiety of making this video creeping on me, which tells me I am nearing the end of this rather arduous journey. I hope it is worth it. I hope it manages to last at least 5 minutes before being demonetized. Not that it matters, CPM is dead anyway. So the subject of today's video means revisiting a story that I had covered previously concerning Highbury College. To give a quick refresher of what happened, they started censoring people from accessing certain news sites when those same news sites reported negatively on Highbury College. Now, in the instances where there were negative articles, it wasn't so much that they were negative, it was that they highlighted the fact that the head of the college was feckless, that the college was in debt to the tune of about 1.4 million. The student admission numbers were going down, and the list does in fact go on. Oh, how about those rather pricey flights the head takes? People wanted to know your expenses, and all they got was a piece of A4 paper with lots of black lines on it, almost like it was redacted. The key part of all of that is the money that the college is trying desperately to get back, and they're trying to get it back legally because they can't airstrike a place to get it back. It comes from a place in Nigeria, and they're owed £1.4 million after investing in this education program that, well, fell apart. I'll link the last video I did on this in the description below. Feel free to go and watch it if you want to. Now, the college, in an update, has offered up the students' halls as security for a £1 million loan, while it tries to recover the 1.4 million debt from abroad. One would surmise the 1 million would be then taken, and the 0.4 would then just be the interest. The college, which is led by Stella Unpronounceable, said its financial health is rated as good, but the college has faced major cuts while costs have risen. That's understandable. We all know about the cost not just to education budgets, but also when you have reduced attendance or admissions, you're not going to get as much money invested into your institute, are you? Now, records from the subsidiary firm Highbury College Commercial Services Limited show that the loan came from a Swedish bank called Svenska Handelsbanken AB, which was put in place in August. And as a consequence of this, as security for the loan, floors 6 to 10 of the block, which was used for housing of students, is being held as collateral for the loan. I would argue it's highly likely none of those floors were in use anyway, so in retrospect it's fine. Since all this has happened, a college spokeswoman has said to finance improvements, including the recent installation of the professional training kitchens. LOL. A loan of £1 million was acquired, and as standard, security was provided to the bank. The security in this instance was against part of the existing estate, the tower. Students can only benefit from such investment, and the college continues to provide student accommodation in the tower. Couple things. Firstly, I find it amusing you couldn't get a loan in the United Kingdom. Says a lot about your credit rating, really, doesn't it? Second, while you are busy trying to improve the services you provide to students to try and get not just admission numbers up, but also get the best grade you can, you're doing it while you are still using money to pay for a legal battle to get back money that you have thrown away in an endeavour that failed on the face of it before you even started throwing money at it. I don't see an outcome of this where you guys win. Maybe you reclaim the money you lost, some of it, but with legal fees, you'll be lucky to break even. In fact, I'd argue the Swedish bank will probably still own part of that tower, which in hindsight they could probably just sublet because let's face it, somebody needs to make money off it. It may as well be the people who are holding you up. You say students can only benefit from such investment. You call it an investment, I call it a risk. And also a waste of time. I'm still curious to know who was held to the mark for the stupid idea of investing in schools abroad without any accountability, who the moron was that signed off on that. And yes, the college does continue to provide student accommodation for those students that still attend. It's not like there are many of them anyway. The college is permitted to gift aid funds from the wholly owned subsidiary company Highbury College Commercial Services Limited to the college. This is standard practice. I keenly await the arrival of your P45s for this ridiculousness that is going on. As reported, the college is fighting a legal battle to recover $1.4 million owed by the Cross River State Government in southern Nigeria for work in the country, with the earlier spokeswoman adding, over the last decade, colleges across the country have seen government funding cut by an average of over 30%, whilst experiencing significant increases to costs over the same period. Yes, austerity hit everyone hard. It is a consequence of throwing money at things and expecting that to solve the problem, without putting any real thought or consideration into it. If you want to blame someone for it, blame the numbnut that sold all our gold reserves off for a fraction of what they were actually worth because he was that desperate to get some cash. The same genius that tried quantitative easing. Idiot. Despite this continued underinvestment into the further education sector, Highbury College's financial health is rated good, in accordance with the Education and Skills Funding Agency Financial Health Assessment criteria. I have no idea how, but I'm sure the Education and Skills Funding Agency Financial Health Assessment criteria are something worth looking at never. And somebody needs to make that into an acronym or come up with an acronym that sounds good. If someone can turn Education and Skills Funding Agency Financial Health Assessment criteria to spell bollocks instead, I would really appreciate it. Leave a comment below for me. The best one gets pinned. Now to finish the video, I want to talk about Tommy Robinson. I know what you're all thinking. Surely everyone that needed to say anything or anyone that gets any reasonable attention has said all that needs to be said. You're quite right. But I want to give my opinion on it. But I do not want to make an entire video on it. No offense, Tommy. I just don't care. Now there are a number of videos I've linked in the description by Mitch, Grim Jim and Sargon especially. Their 3 videos cover it from 3 different perspectives, and they, to me, summarise this interesting debate about his ban, suspension, removal from Instagram and Facebook. He built up quite the following on Facebook, and he had obviously been removed for inciting hate and whatever else, really. Understandably, when he sets up a rally or an event, that is, considered hate speech because of who he is. He is typically considered Islamophobic, something you'll see in this letter here by Tom Watson, the deputy leader of the Labour Party. His letter is a damning statement for how narrow-minded some can be, and how far the truly dim and desperate will go to silence someone. And in fact, he highlights something in the letter that actually, to me, should surely be a warning for what happens when you censor someone. So I'm going to say it now, because it's pretty obvious in the letter. I'll zoom in on the part that's relevant. When you go out of your way to remove someone from your site for arbitrary reasons, and then you use the media to target that person. Dankula, by the way, is another example. When you target someone and get the media involved, it turns out more people go to them because they realise they're not alone in their fight against what they believe to be injustice. Tommy Robinson does stand up for things that people would consider unsavoury, but he will say it in a way that is blunt and accurate. He has been involved in some rather nasty things in the past, but to this day, people still go to his home and attack him. That is unacceptable. I don't tolerate any kind of harassment, targeted abuse, or anything like that. On the day he was removed from Facebook and Instagram, didn't the BBC do something? Yeah. Funny that. His documentary came out shortly after. Fake news, remember everyone? All that goddamn fake news. And it's embarrassing. And yes, he does get millions of views. He doesn't get monetized. He doesn't have Patreon. He is trying to get more people to go somewhere else to donate. And I hope it works out for him. Because quite frankly, the more he scares you because you refuse to address his arguments, the more pathetic you look. Who looks the thickest? The The person refusing to debate, discuss, or debunk, going so far as to use buzzwords and thought-terminating cliches to silence somebody who, because of the way you're dealing with it, is getting bigger because of it, or the person simply speaking his mind. Now yes, YouTube may well remove him, they may well do it. He's not monetized, he gets the views because he gets the support, but he's not breached any of YouTube's terms of service, and they have to be consistent. They've been inconsistent before, and there are debates about the Alex Jones channel or InfoWars or whatever it's called, was called even. That's a debate for other people, but I don't see where he's breached terms of service yet. But by all means, debate that if you want. I just don't care. I do not support the censorship based on their beliefs on their own terms of service on Facebook and Instagram especially, how they perceive what he has done when he sets up rallies. I will not excuse some of the things he's done in the past, but his more recent activities I do not believe qualified for removal. But it's understandable that they would want to remove him because he's another one of those prominent voices calling out the protected classes for being absolutely barbaric. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely Wednesday, and thank you all for listening.